Welcome to No FOMO Charts, YouTube channel, live stream number 11. Today is still Friday, September 18th, 2020. In this channel and live stream, I talk about stock charts and technical analysis education. Disclaimer, these videos and charts are for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Just education. All right, so I have a little bit of a sore throat today and this week, so I'm going to make this video as short as possible for everybody's sake. And basically, let's start with the Dow Jones. All right, there's a lot of market action, price action this past week. So let's start with the Dow Jones. If anybody has any questions, please just type it in the chat box and comments before we end. Thank you. All right, here we go. So Dow Jones. All right, so what we want to watch out for straight away is, yes, we are in this medium-term uptrend, right? But right now, the price action from August to September is maybe a head and shoulders. Maybe. All right, that's like the big problem right now. So let me just go ahead and erase everything. Possible head and shoulders on Dow Jones. But let's go ahead and let's bring up this. Here we go. So yes, if you look, we are still in the uptrend, okay? Yes, a little bit of momentum is still possibly building. We are in the uptrend, and that's confirmed by moving averages as well. But if we only look at price action, and volume, okay, potential head and shoulders setting up, possible, all right? It doesn't mean we're going to crash back down negative 50%. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just price, there's a potential, maybe, possible, okay? So let's just measure it hypothetically and see what would happen if this really turns to a head and shoulders. It's like a 6% head and shoulders, right? There is support right now at 27,500. Let me draw that right there, that white line. Okay, so that's the neckline. Okay, 27,500. It's basically been holding support 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 times. This is the 5th time. Okay, so basically, let's check this. All right. Target number 1 would be here. Head and shoulders target number 2. Let's see, would be, let me measure this accurately for everyone. Right here, somewhere. So 24,181. So these are the 2 targets. This is our neckline, okay, 27,500. Bearish target number 1, 25,873. Bearish target number 2, 24,181. If this actually happens, it's possible it's not going to happen, the head and shoulders, right? So let's look at some bullish targets instead. Okay, if this doesn't happen, then we're probably going to see more upside over time. So let's see here. Where would we go? Well, the next logical spot, the 2 spots for this, I'll do this close. Bullish target number 1, 28,060. Bullish target number 2, basically 29,200, maybe even 29,000 in there. And then bullish target number 3, 29,605. All right, so these are our targets right now. The price, if you look at these 2 support and resistance lines very carefully, support at 27,450, resistance at 28,000. Like here, we're stuck between here and here right now. The short-term pattern is head and shoulders, right? But we've seen here in the past, head and shoulders back in April, May, June did complete, right? So the head and shoulders did complete in the past, not quite all the way down to that target. There was support, right? So basically what I'm watching out for is this whole range. Let me just draw it for you guys. This yellow box, is it going to hold? That's the big question. That's the question right now. Is this going to hold? This support. Okay. If we look at Trendline Analysis, so let me finish the bullish targets. Bullish target number 1, bullish target number 2, and 3, like that. All right, let me draw this just so the sake of next time we can see if this happens or not. All right, so over time. So now let's look at, if we do Trendline Analysis, okay, let's see how many points, probably doing like this. All right, so now the trend line is a resistance. Do you see that? This yellow trend line right here is now a resistance trend line. Because look at the price action very carefully, all right? It's this support at 27,500 is critical. This is critical. If we lose this, then bears are going to attack down, right? They're going to push the price down. They're going to try it. Also, if you think about it, we have elections in America, USA, in less than 6 weeks from now. Less than 6 weeks. So for stock market, that's not many actual days, if you think about it, for trading and investing, right? So the trend line now is a resistance. So basically, there's a significant resistance at the right shoulder area, right? In this area, in like 28,000 area. Price area, okay? But again, this is the US stock market, okay? US tries to keep going up and up and up as high and far as possible. I'm just saying there's a potential setup happening. But again, if you look at moving averages, we're finding support above the 50 EMA, exponential moving average, basically. See that? Right? But the slope of the shorter term moving average is angling down, but we're finding support. So if this support is critical, we had some buyers here at the end of the day today. All right, so we want to watch out for that. Just key levels. All right, let me draw this yellow line on top because it's critical. We need to break out of this channel in one direction, okay? With confidence. Like if we're going to go bear, it's got to go down like that. We've got to break here, through here, and go down. If it's going to go bull, we got to break out of here and go up on volume too. But look at the selling volume. High volume of selling, but the price didn't go that much. So that's very suspicious to me, okay? That means there's support there. So next week, next 2 weeks is going to be critical for the stock market. All right, S&P 500, very similar. You see this trend line, okay? This head and shoulders is not as clear, okay? There's like a baby one though. It's a little bit of a stretch. But like I was saying in my last video, if we really measure it 6%, again, from the neckline, which is here, 6% is all the way down here at 3,100. Okay? These other support and resistance, support 1, support 2, support 3, these are the downside bearish targets. Over time, this is debatable head and shoulders, okay? So I'm going to erase this one, but I just drew it just in case it actually happens. If you look at the price action though, consolidation for now. See that? Boom, boom, like that. Price going sideways essentially, basically, but we hit this gap box support right here. You see this? Gap box support. All right, so that's holding very nicely. If we lose this, if we lose like 32.60 to 33.23, if we lose this support right here and the price goes down like this, right, then I'm expecting some kind of downtrend to form. If we look right now very, very closely, if we look very, very closely, it's lower low. If this is the lower high range, then, you know, seeing a lower low down to 32.50 is not impossible over time. Okay, so we're going to watch out for that. Check our moving averages. Yes, we're still holding above that 50 exponential moving average. All right. Little bit of MACD momentums, but I could see the price like pulling back a little bit more, and then we get some more MACD momentum, and then we might see the next lower high bounce. So like maybe this might happen, right? Like this pattern, right? Right now it's just kind of like this. So if we break down once, then it might bounce like that. Or, because remember last time we were saying there's W, but the W failed. Okay, so patterns fail. But we hit our first target, but then got rejected by resistance. Now we're coming back down to support on Dow Jones. Same thing here. We hit this top of the W target and then bearish pressure down. A little bit more selling. You notice this? This was all green back here in August, mostly. Then in September, right, is the prophecy, not the prophecy, but is the forecast coming true about September stock market, right? All right, so finish up bullish targets. Bullish target would be 34.70 like last time, and the big bullish target up here, 35.88 up here. Again, look at this trend line is resistance. You see that? Watch out for that. Okay, Nasdaq. So look at this, a little bit more obvious head and shoulders. Okay, we haven't had a head and shoulders on Nasdaq like this whole year, and now we have one. Okay, so the point is though is the head and shoulder only happens when the neckline is broken confirmed. It could happen like in a week or two, right? It could even happen as early as Monday, but we have to see. All right, so this is US stock market. It doesn't like to give up, so to speak, so easily. It needs a lot of bullish pressure, but this could be a large one, right? If we measure this thing like for real, 12%. 12% is huge. 9,516, right? This could be head and shoulders target 1. I'm just going to write as HST1 right there, right? But we have all the support. Look at this price inflection range and this, right? So there's a lot of support here. It's not going to just go negative 12. Negative 6 would make more sense, right? From the neckline breakdown, which would be around 10,000. Yeah, so like 10,100 would make more sense, okay? So let me erase these so these targets are very, very clear, right? This target 2, this target 1 to the downside. But if we break bullish, like if we have any good news on Monday, Sunday, this coming Monday, then we might break it back up to the upside here at 3%, because look at this. It's like stuck in a channel is what I'm saying. Stuck in the channel. Look here, right? Consolidating. Some might even consider this like a little bear channel, right? Not quite a pennant, possible bear flag, but at the bottom of that support. If we lose the support, then you expect to see more downside momentum, because look, lower low, lower high. If it break that, then we're looking right somewhere around here, 10,300 range for a lower low, then probably lower high bounce, right? Then that would be really bad, because then that's the definite daily trend change to a downtrend. It's a mouthful. So let's quickly go back to S&P 500, look at the longer term, look at monthly, starting to have some monthly September selling. Weekly, look at this, right? Weekly, like I was saying, again, is this Elliott wave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we going to get ABC down correction? Maybe. All right, so we're going to watch out for that. Nasdaq, again, boom, we went on a run for 5 months, right? Then pulling back here, people taking their profit before like a month and a half before the election. Month and a half. Look at this, a little bit of weakness up here on this weekly chart for 2 weeks, right? All right, so Russell 2000, again, still consolidating to the side, to the right, all right? So these targets were actually hit, nice. So again, there's a double top resistance up here in the 1600 to 1585 to 1600 range. We hit this first support, which I found I was over here, this inflection, right? Price cluster, I call it, price cluster. Okay, found support, boom, then where to the next logical resistance here and here. See that? Boom, now we're coming down. All right, so again, the trend change, we got to be on daily charts. I have to be very sensitive for trend change. Okay, sensitive, lower low, lower high. If that's a lower high, then I'm expecting a lower low for normal trading, 1462, unless we get bullish momentum to the upside. All right, we really need this to be a lower high and break out over here. Okay, like the stock market really needs that. If somebody's a bull, Nasdaq needs to get back a bit to this trend, this channel, right? So again, there's a little bit of momentum, right? But then it's not completely crashed yet. So again, this is not like the ultimate downside pullback. It hasn't happened yet. Next, really quick, VIX. I think we'll just do US indexes this live stream. So we're doing VIX, and the VIX had its run up, okay, on that volatility, because the S&P 500 is down, then the VIX had some volatility pop. Okay, the retracement down, finding support and another bounce, but then down again. So this is very interesting because you'll see the S&P 500 is down and the VIX is down a little bit, so to speak, as well over the past like 2 days. So this is very interesting, right? But again, if you zoom out, is this just another lower high? So lower low, lower high, oops. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So again, is it a trend change? Like, is this the higher low, so to speak? And is this going to pop back up, right? Because if the market crashes, you're going to see VIX go up. The market goes up, you're going to see VIX come back down and probably eventually make a lower low. So we don't want to base everything too much off the VIX, okay? Just focus on S&P 500 and Nasdaq basically for the next like 2 weeks. And you might get a more optics on the market, so to speak. Okay, so next one, spot gold. Okay, so right here, this symmetrical triangle keeps drawing out. So these targets are generally still here. Okay, there's this support line right here at 1925. All right, so now we're really getting into this like tightening range over here. You see this? Okay, so if we remeasure it, if we do a big measurement, it's like a 5% from the breakout. 5% of the breakout would be like 2050. All right, so I'll move this target up a little bit. This is a longer term target on gold. Breakdown of 5% would be this one over here. So I'm going to erase this target. Okay, there is a support here, so I'm going to leave that. So now there's resistance up here. So I'm going to take this big target off. All right, so we don't need so many targets. So basically these two outside targets are like the targets for the outside of the channel. You see here? This channel is still in play, the long-term daily trend channel, right? But right now, if you look, we're riding the middle half line of the channel, okay? Consolidation right here could be a very large bull flag, right? If you look at moving averages analysis, okay, just trying to ride those shorter-term averages and trying to hold way above the 50 EMA, consolidating to the side. And there's some momentum building on the oscillators right now, but again, still under that pivot point, and now just kind of consolidating. So gold is just kind of waiting. The psychology is people are waiting. Silver as well, in a bit of an equilibrium. You see here, tightening up. We extend that out. Okay, these targets are still probably good. All right, so the general targets. All right, and so again, there's a little bit of momentum building on silver, but again, it's not going to move big until the stocks move, in my opinion, because people are watching stocks right now like very heavily. Dollar index, okay, still okay. So what happened was we had the little bounce on that volatility, and now we're having a pullback. Okay, let's check for any potential setups. Maybe a potential upside down head and shoulders forming like this. Maybe. So if this is the neckline, okay, let's measure it as a reversal signal for the market, 1.5%. Breaking out from here, 1.3% would be 94.76, our target. Okay, so if this actually happens, let me draw some like more accurate lines. If this actually happens, okay, and move this up. This is our neckline, right? The yellow, see that? If this actually happens, we need to see a bull break on the dollar currency index. All right. If that actually happens, bearish target, we'd be back down here to 92.25. So these targets are still way good. They're not random targets. They're derived from previous price action. Just old price action. But now it's a target for potential upside down head and shoulders. And these are generally moving average targets as well. So that strategy works. And again, there's some momentum building, pretty strong. secret momentum. All right, so watch out for that. Watch out for the market. All right, here's a good example of a double bottom, right? So turn all this off. Look at the price. What happened? Finding support at 26.65. All right, so a lot of these lines, let me just go ahead and erase it. All right, this is getting a little too confusing. People have been telling me. So erase that stuff. Erase. Let's just get, clean this up for everybody. I think I could just drag it right now. These two. There we go. It's a nice feature of TradingView that was like released this year, I think. All right, so these targets stuck between these large upside and downside breakdown targets, okay? But then if you look at this, it broke down out of the ascending wedge, all right? Found double bottom support over here. I'm saying 26. Where was it? 26, like 75, all right? Broke out of this resistance, 27.44, and then rallied back up to this zone of resistance. Now I'm going to draw this as a box, okay, because it's pretty significant. If you get rejected here like multiple times, so now we have a resistance like this. Now the price is stuck between this support and this resistance, like the inside. Okay, but if we just do price trend analysis, if this is lower low and this is a lower high, if things it could go one of two ways. It could establish a new higher low and do this. Okay, and try to survive, or if this is a lower high, then expect a retest. If that fails, then we're going down. Do you see that? It could become a large double bottom like that. That's another scenario. So we really want to watch what happens here, because again, there's also a middle support in here. This is like the gap support. All right. So there's 3 levels in here. Very interesting, right? Pretty surprising to see this crash. I'm not shocked, but it's like it happened, right? This is pretty short-lived down here. Then boom, up to this resistance zone. So now we're stuck between these two zones. We're stuck between 29.50 and 28.20, all right? So we just want to watch. We're going to break up for this. We're going to come down and find support and do this, all right? So very, very key what's going on in oil right there. Let's just check really fast. Is there any... Yeah, so right now it's like weekly. Is this going to establish, is this the higher low, right? There's a lot of range to go in the 20s, $20 range, right? To establish like a longer term, right? Or what if it's a huge double bottom? Like we don't know yet, right? So we want to see. There is a little potential bit of a candle pattern, but I'm not going to call it yet because we just want to see what happens. All right, so natural gas. All right, so on UNG, this didn't break down so much, but I remember on, let's see, the contract for difference, the other one. Let's see. Let's check these futures. Yeah, well, it's a different chart. Okay, but the contract for difference one, I think it was the was it the Oanda one? It's a different chart, but this Head and Shoulders crashed out way more. So not every single asset is the same, is what I'm trying to say. So right here, I had a Head and Shoulders on natural gas. A little, it was there, like I was calling it last time. All right, 16% from the breakdown. See, this one didn't go that far, but if you look at other charts, like it crashed down way more. Okay, so it doesn't always, Head and Shoulders targets don't always work, but let's just keep that in mind. Like if it does, okay, maybe we use a different, like a baby Head and Shoulders, this one, like this. See that? There's one inside. 50% from this breakdown makes more sense. Okay, so another 15%. Again, that's why we have this bottom target down here if it drops again. But if you look at the price action, okay, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high bounce. Somewhere in here, if we're going to continue the downtrend in normal trading, I'm expecting to come back down to like 11. So this first bear target is still in play. This second one is still in play. Although this one would be a little bit questionable, but it's possible. Okay, let's just close out with some Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, let's close out with Bitcoin. So again, why did this happen? Okay, well, we had a head and shoulders on Bitcoin. Okay, head and shoulders, and we measured this. It's like 10%. We had a 10%, basically. With a little bit more, bots, a lot of traders and bots bought this because it's Bitcoin. You get a crash on Bitcoin, expect some action, right? We're still, it's a weekend, right? So a lot of the institutions and the large money firms have gone home for the weekend for the most part, right? There's still, but it's Bitcoin, it's still open. Anything's possible. But I'm saying, like Wall Street went home, so to speak. It's the weekend, but right here, I called this. Remember last time we crash, and then consolidation to the side, and then we got this bull break, right? Not quite. It's not, technical analysis doesn't have to be perfect, but we got this bull break, right? But now we have consolidation. See this? The flag, the pennant, right there. All right. So again, it would be okay if we come back to test the top of 10,500 and then break up to 11,000, right? That would be a stronger establishing trend. It's always good in Bitcoin to establish a trend, right? Stair-step pattern. If it just goes up like this, that's why it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. This big bull run day, not sustainable. This is not sustainable either for bears. Right? When you have straight up and straight down, that's not sustainable in the market for very long. All right. So instead of getting like 10 targets on here, make it easier on people. So this one hit support. Right. So now we're stuck here. So we can measure, even this is measurable, right? So 3% from the breakout, we hit this target 3%. Another 3%. Would be like 11,400, right? So now the second target is here, okay? The ultimate target to break through is like 12,000, right? But I'm not gonna draw that one. I'm talking about here. So for now, these are our two targets on Bitcoin, 10,500 or 11,400, maybe even like just 11,000 itself, all right? Let's look at Ethereum. Very similar. Okay, actually, let's spend a little bit more time with Bitcoin. So if we look at this monthly chart, all right, it's like kind of like monthly. If we break down in this month, then it's a evening star pattern. That would be bad for a monthly chart, right? Weekly, we need to really break through 12,000 on the weekly chart. Right? I hope this does not turn into a weekly head and shoulders. Then the market for bulls are really screwed. If that happens, like if this happens over the next like 3 months, then we're screwed. Bulls are screwed, right? Meaning trouble for the market if that happens. So this price action needs to reestablish a uptrend to get out of here, to get out of the trouble, right? But again, remember that Bitcoin is only one asset in the entire world. It's not the only asset. It's not the only currency. It's not the only commodity in the entire world. It's one more type added into an already functioning ecosystem in the world. So just remember that perspective on Bitcoin and crypto. And remember, not everybody's using Bitcoin right now. Okay, next, before we wrap up, Ethereum USD. All right, still riding this upper trend line. Still good. Still good. Does Bitcoin have a trend line? Yes, there is, but it's kind of a weak one, so I'm not going to draw that one. This one's stronger. There was like a dirty upside down head and shoulder, dirty head and shoulders on this, pull back down to trendline supports, and rallying up to the upside. What's noticeable though is this decline in volume. Okay, while the price is going up, that's a setup in itself. Okay, but what we need to see is the trend change. All right, Bulls don't want to see double top. They don't want to see this double top at 391. Okay, bulls need to see a break out of here. So I'm watching this carefully. All right, so bullish target would be somewhere like 442. Bearish target back down to this trend line like 345-ish. All right. So just quickly take a look at China. Shanghai Composite, because look at this. Just look at price action. Just turn everything off. Like lower low, lower high, lower low. Is this establishing a lower high? Right? This is some kind of dirty on the price. Is it going to turn into a dirty like weekly head and shoulders? Maybe. If it does, watch out for that. Talk about this. Watch out for this. Watch out for this. Right? If it happens. Or just a double top. Right? I mean, this could be an upside down head and shoulders too. That's why it's rallying. But again, if you look at bigger picture, right? It needs to break through 3451. All right. Hang Seng Index finding support here. Okay, so I'm just going to call bull target over here 24,000 and bear target down here 24,000, bull target at 25,000. Okay, Nikkei 225, just interesting to look at this one because they have a new leader basically. So still in a uptrend surprisingly, right? Even though they had like a leader, their country leader change. Hold on. That's Prime Minister over there. So Prime Minister Suga. Now, all right. So, higher high, higher low, higher high. Is he gonna make it a higher low? So look at this. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I think at this time this wedge is not in play anymore. Like it's over. So we could draw just like a trend line like this. Like this makes more sense. You see that? And then this makes more sense, right? So it's at a break point. Very, very suspicious right now for Japan in terms of the price charts. Looks like something might happen within the next couple of weeks or month. Okay, KOSPI, and we'll end here. KOSPI, actually we'll end at Nifty. KOSPI just riding this trend line. Okay, almost looks like Nasdaq, the old Nasdaq chart, right? KOSDAQ. Suspicious in terms of price action. Almost looks like bots. Almost looks like bots, right? Because it's still an uptrend, but it's like losing a little bit of momentum, right? This needs to break out way higher, okay? Because it's lower low. I mean, yeah, low high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then needs to break 2467. So this is the bullish target. There's bearish targets, and then there's bearish targets down here and bullish targets up here. All right. So let's go to Nifty and we'll end. Okay, Nifty 50, so turn everything off. All right, we look at price first. Look at price first. All right, so still holding in this uptrend. Very, very subtle bit of momentum loss in terms of this going sideways like that. You see this price action? Let's just erase all this. So I'm talking about this right here. See this? It's kind of losing a little bit of that momentum going to the side. All right, see, yep, see. You can feel it, the momentum on the price charts just right here. So I want to watch out. Maybe a potential warning on the Nifty 50. There's plenty of room to pull back down, back down to here. There's like 5%, 3% to 6% range downside. And then you could still be in an uptrend longer term in like a weekly or monthly for Nifty 50. Yeah. All right. So I'm watch out for that. Okay, watch out for, I'll draw that. So there's support here, there's support here, there's resistance and resistance. All right, so we want to watch out for Nifty 50. Okay, try to get a trend line in there. This is that very steep trend line. See, now it broke down out of the trend line, consolidating to the side. Okay, so is it going to come down here? Is it going to make a lower low? We'll see. We'll see. All right, if this turns into a head and shoulders, measure it. It's 5%. 5% of the breakdown is way down here, 10,500. Let's see if that target gets hit over here. All right. So, okay, that's the shortened version of the stock market, a little bit of global market, and a little bit of crypto market technical analysis. So if you like this video, I try to make it short as possible today. Please consider subscribing. Please consider leaving a comment. If you have a stock, company, or a crypto that you would like to see me analyze on the charts, please leave a comment or a message in the chat box, and we'll put it on the list. Okay, I'm not doing so much individual stocks until, people, it would be good to have some people like actually request some, because then it's real, right? Like real time analysis. Because I could do a whole bunch of stocks, but again, it's always good to get outside perspective, like what are other people looking and thinking about. Okay, so just a quick reminder that any donations to Patreon and PayPal are always appreciated to keep this channel going and to provide everyone watching, all my subscribers and viewers, with quality technical analysis education. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye.